Hello students, this is Sudhir Shukla. Today we will cover the topic comparison of trackers. So we know that trackers that means the technique which we are using just to scan the object. Why we are in need of scanning that object? Because we want to know that the object at certain time where it will be or where what it with its position will be. So that means ki we are tracking that an object using radar tracking system. Okay, so we know that there are three techniques we have learned and also discussed. First, sequential logging; second, conical scanning; and third one is monopulse tracking. In between these three techniques, what are the comparison, which one is better, we will discuss here. Okay, while taking the first term SNR, that means today we are going to know that which technique is better in terms of what I have written here. So first one is SNR. SNR stands for signal to noise ratio. While seeing the three techniques, in between them, monopulse scanning technique is the better one, is the preferable technique, which is having greater signal to noise ratio. As we all know that in our communication devices we always prefer SNR to be higher value, and in between these three techniques, monopulse scanning technique have higher SNR. That is, it is having 2 to 4 dB always greater or more than sequential lobbing or conical scanning technique. Second is the accuracy. So monopulse radar is having higher accuracy. Also, its angle accuracy is not affected by fluctuations in the amplitude of the echo signal. First line means or stands for monopulse radar is having higher accuracy. Monopulse radar technique, or the radar which is using the monopulse scanning technique, that is having higher accuracy comparable to sequential or conical scanning. Along with it, these two techniques, what I have told you, sequential scanning and conical scanning, sequential lobbing and conical scanning, these two are having amplitude fluctuations more. And while considering this monopulse, we have less fluctuations in the amplitude. What I have explained here, that angle accuracy is not affected by fluctuations in the amplitude of the echo signal. Means if the echo signal is having fluctuations in its amplitude, there will be fluctuations at the radar display and our readings will be wrong or will not be accurate if we are using sequential lobbing or conical scanning. That means monopulse is also preferable in terms of accuracy. Third, complexity. We know that the monopulse radar is more complex. The third which we are preferring, this is having its disadvantage. We can say that this is a disadvantage, that it is a more complex as it uses more components. As just remember those monopulse tracking block diagrams, these are having a lot of components being used. So this being also I have written here, receivers were big, that makes a system complex, that makes a simple complex, and its complexity in terms of sequential lobbing and conical scanning is more. Okay, so Cassegrain is a popular antenna for monopulse. There are types of antenna: space fed antenna, paraboloid antenna, Cassegrain antenna. Inside it, the Cassegrain antenna is most preferable for this monopulse radar tracking techniques. And the fourth one is the last one, is the minimum number of pulses. We know that the monopulse technique, as the name implies, a monopulse radar can perform an angle measurement in two coordinates on the basis of a single pulse. As the name suggests, monopulse, we have discussed that mono means single, means we are getting information while using a single pulse, single loop we are using. But in the previous ones, in two techniques, sequential and conical scanning, we need more number of loops and more number of pulses. So in monopulse radar technique, we use single number pulses. While using that single number pulses, we are able to know the angle error and if we are able to calculate the angle error, we can able to maintain the orientation of the antenna, by which we can get the correct value in angle which will prefer us to know the direction of the object. So these are the points discussed for the comparison of trackers. Thank you.